Buffalo Cauliflower, the non-vegetarian, low-carb, gluten-free, free-range, keto-friendly, non-kosher, and potentially organic dish. It begins rather simply by cutting bite-sized cauliflower florets and placing them into a sieve. After the brisk rinse, he sets them aside to air dry under the kitchen lights. As he opens a bag of pork rinds, the smell of pork skin fills the air. Adding as much as possible to a food processor and pulverizes the out of them, creating a panko-like crumb which he pours into a large petri dish, or a baking dish. He gives a slight shake to ensure that gravity has done its work. To the crumbs, he adds a third of a cup of almond flour, sufficient vampire repellent, and ant repellent. Lots of ant repellent. With the assistance of a fork, he mixes the sand-like mixture. Memories come flooding back of grade school, except that was more of a rice box, and never did quite hold water well. He brings in the sheet of bacon, forged of the finest metals, and covers it with foil of the aluminium. With the task complete, he moves on to the sacrifice of avian offspring. Cracking 3 eggs of the feathered dinosaurs will suffice. Using the previously soiled fork, he begins to scramble the yolks as if to make an omelette. 1 spin to the right and 1 spin to the left, for equality. He preheats the forge to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and prepares his workstation. With the aid of his favorite medical-grade tongs, he moves along the 4 stations: cauliflower, egg bath, sand bath, and metal sheet. He also grabs another set of tongs to keep his hands clean, using them to grab the cauliflower and dump them in the egg, which then goes to the sand, the panko crust, where it rolls around like Georgia Brown. Once he has an even coating to his liking, he places it on the baking sheet. And as he slowly lines the baking sheet with cauliflower, eventually it becomes a little crowded. With the sheet filled to the edges with cauliflower, it's time to take it to the oven. It will sit here for at least 18 minutes. No more, no less. And in the meantime, he cleans, because ants. Afterwards, he procures a small saucepan, unsalted butter, and hot sauce. Although he could use any hot sauce, he uses the classic, Frank's Red Hot Original. He pours out 8 ounces of the sauce into the pan, with the Guardian barking in the background. He attempts to count the number of tablespoons of butter. However, counting is quite difficult for him, so he gives up and simply eyeballs a chunk of butter. Because in his life, more butter is always better. The milk vat slowly melts over medium heat, to which he adds more butter. Because as before, more is always better. Once he stirs it into a silky smooth liquid, he removes it from the heat. Unbeknownst to many, this Homo sapien has just made buffalo sauce. And with the sauce comes progress. And with progress comes time to bathe. He removes the cauliflower from the oven, carefully placing the sheet of bacon onto a heat-safe surface. As he gently grabs a piece, he dips it into the buffalo sauce, and as expected, the smell has lured in scavengers from moves away. This is Jake, the Black Guardian. As the florets become soaked soon enough, the pan is glistening in an orange so bright that rainbows become jealous. 1 final piece, and cautiously he reaches for a towel, which to grab the baking sheet. Back into the furnace it goes, for a minimum of 30 minutes. 25 minutes in, he begins to prepare for the final plating. He slices scallions into thin, diagonally round shapes, and in a small porcelain vessel, pours a cultured dressing. Normally reserved for the trash bin, this cultured sauce is known as blue cheese, and amongst humans, it is a delicacy. Once sufficient time has passed, he removes the faux chicken wings from the oven. He removes each piece one by one, and places them in a concentric manner around the sauce. Soon enough, the plate becomes a beautiful wreath of deliciousness. He sprinkles the scallions over top to provide flavor and color contrast. He has created Buffalo Cauliflower, a dish so good even he can't stop himself from eating. If you like this video, share, like, and subscribe. Until next time, eat well.